No more global flood. So following the flood, God blesses Noah and his sons. He tells them to be fruitful and, hey, let's start all over again. This is verse 7 in particular. Why do human beings eat meat now? Prior to the flood, they did not. They were vegetarians. It's in verse 7 of Genesis 9 where God instructs people to eat meat. You will find that people that are vegans, vegetarians, things like this, some of them are vegans or vegetarians because meat grosses them out. They just don't like it. Okay? And that's okay. That's cool with me if that's what your heart is. But when people make a moral judgment, that's where I have an issue. Because it's God himself that said you can eat meat in verse 7 of this chapter. But there's a genetic reason for it. Remember, everything's different after the flood. Human beings prior to it could eat an apple, and the genetic code in that apple would have been fabulous. Now you've got the flood. Everything is messed up. The atmosphere is different. Everything's different. And so God knew you're going to need supplements. Not only are you going to need supplements for your biology, but you also have to recognize the horror of sin. Sin causes death. And every time you kill a chicken in order to eat dinner, you're thinking, man. And there's a horror to it. How many of you have ever had to kill a chicken? Because I have. All right, when you chop that head off and they don't like it. They don't. And I mean, the first time I had to do that, I was like 10. My dad's like, hold this. And I'm like, oh, quack. Okay, it was just horrible. I think we get too detached. We go to the store and we get our chickens all nice and carved up and everything. No, when you have to yeah, thank God. But when you have to do it yourself, you're going, oh, this is horrible that something has to die so that I can live. That was the whole point of this. Okay, so I think that's just really, really important for us to understand. So you'll read that here. You also got to read a weird story about Noah getting drunk. First of all, it tells us that Noah was not a perfect guy. He got depressed. He made a bad choice. He got himself wasted. And you will understand here that Ham, his son, dishonors him in some way. We're not exactly certain what that is. We're not exactly certain what that is. It seems implied that it was some type of sexual molestation. But we don't know exactly. But it's in this chapter. And it highlights, God's mercy on people that don't deserve it. And I think the key point is this. God will be patient to allow free will, but sin is deadly. It's dangerous. It's destructive. And ignoring it can lead to generational sin because it's from Ham's descendants that you get the people of Canaan. Okay? I'm going to skip reading some of these verses because I'm looking at the time. And let's just say that the key verse in Genesis 9 is verse 11. It's talking about the covenant.